Well, here we are. Losers bracket final. Garden of Terror between the Saboteurs and Team Ash. The starting map in the best of 3 series of qualifier number 4. Alright, you know the drill, guys. We're in the 4th qualifier. We have 15 heroes that are pre-banned, all listed down here. 3 more were added after qualifier number 3. Johanna, Sylvanas and Junkrat. And of course, our second rule still applies as well. Every hero can only be played once within a series, meaning that as we're moving through the maps, more and more heroes are unavailable from the hero pool, which is particularly going to be noticeable when we're heading into best of 5s, like for example, the playoffs, or as in this case, the grand final of the qualifier. Now, on another note, also something to point out here, in the playoffs, the teams are playing for the prize pool of $2,000. Again, prize money and everything set up by me this time. So Meta Madness 8 fully financed by me. We don't have a big name sponsor or anything for this one. Bit of an early Christmas present for the Heroes of the Storm esports community. And we had plenty of amazing games already in that context. Now that we're heading into Garden of Terrors, our map, the Saboteurs, of course, would love nothing more than go to the grand final again and have a rematch against the Raiders. And it feels like that has been the theme of qualifier number 3 and now qualifier number 4. I'm totally not against that, because we've had insane games between these two. It's a little bit sad that the Akatsuki haven't signed up for the 4th qualifier, but I'm sure that we can see them again in qualifier number 5. They've already been doing well in the qualifiers that they were part of. So for playoffs, everything is looking on track right now. As we're going into Garden of Terror, we get Dehaka picked quickly. Vikings get banned, and so did Maiev. It's not only Bishops that knows how to play Maiev, but of course Rutsu has also shown some incredible games. I would say that at this point, the 3 players are the most likely to pick Maiev. Ultralisk, of course, Rutsu, and then Bishops, probably in that order. And since he can't get Maiev, Rutsu is just like, you know what, boys? I'm gonna go for Zeratul again. I'm gonna go for Zeratul. And we get Falstad and Rhaegar. Renella on Rhaegar is just a thing. That's just what happens. Uther, couple of stuns. Couple of Divine Shields, probably. Which already intrigues me a bit, because I want to see what Bad Benny is now picking. Benny has in the past played a lot of Varian, and looking at the draft here, if they go Varian with an Uther stun follow-up, Zeratul for damage, and Dino with a bit of burst, that is actually a lot that they can pull off with that. I mean, it's a big map, Garden of Terror, so that might push you away from that. But, yeah. Either way, we have globals, 1 on each side. Greymane, any kind of camp clear is already getting negated. I could see Sonya for Team Ash. That's of course one option. You want to have heroes that are good on camps. And I believe the last time that they played in Garden of Terror, didn't they go for a triple frontline? Could be that they're doing that again. That would put Falstad into the only range damage dealer slot for them though. So it's still something that's possible, but you need to make sure that you have some really nice damage dealers on the melee side. They've done that with Imperius last time, I believe Thrall as well, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we'll see. It's more likely that we're going to get a range damage dealer for them. I mean, there's still plenty up. You could go Cassia again, just to name one. Obviously, if you're looking more about mages or whatever, then Li Ming is still an option. There's plenty to go around here. But the red team with a double pick, Garrosh and Jaina. Okay, so Jaina coming in for that burst damage, Garrosh trying to dominate up at the front. Now we have the final 2 picks in game number 1 for the Saboteurs, for Benny and for Dino. And I kind of noticed that now in the qualifiers, Dino is not going that crazy anymore in drafts. Keep in mind that in the first qualifier we actually got Murky from them, Murky Abatha, in the same game that we got Shogal, if I'm not mistaken. And there's our Stitches finally. Stitches and Phoenix. Okay, Dino go, brr. Maybe. Morenas, he still needs a side lane. I mean, he knew from the start that he's up against Dehaka here. So, if anything, I'm surprised that he's waiting this long to lock the pick in, because he must have known for a while now already what he's going to play. Either way, it's going to be good. Really looking forward to this. Losers bracket final, and the Raiders are waiting in the grand final, the best of 5 that will start off with Warhead Junction. It is Urel, and let's go. Game number 1 in the losers bracket final between Team Ash and the Saboteurs. Game number 1 on the left, we got Rotsu on Zeratul, Dainu on Phoenix, Bad Benny on Stitches, with Hazops on Dehaka, and Yasuo on Uther. Right side of the map, the contender. Team Ash with Renella on Rhaegar, Morenas on Yrel, Shizakid on Garrosh, Lopaka on Jaina, and Bishops is playing Falstad. So, let's go. We got already the body check on level 1, and look at that. Hungry for more for Stitches. I mean, I generally like that Benny and some others have now gone for their talent. The only thing that I really despise with the passion is that every time that they're pairing Stitches with Alexstrasza, they for some reason pick something else. I like that they're picking this more, but for the love of God, if you're actually doing it, do me a favor and pair it with Alexstrasza, at least on Infernal Shrines or something, and then go for the full-on fat Stitches meme. Kill against Yrel. I mean, she pretty much laubert. So Yrel laubert at the start of the game, goes down before the 30-second mark even. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it. So instantly destroyed. And now we have them pushing on here. Spray game is on point as well. The globals are sitting up at the top and just doing their thing here. But yeah, so Stitches already a little bit faster. This is a fun talent, honestly. It gives you movement speed as you stack it up. Can you imagine, by the way, if you ever make it to 1,000 stacks on this? That would be insane. You would be unkillable with Devour. It would be so funny. And Yrel, you already had a taste of this earlier. You should be a little bit careful, girl. A bit more careful down here. Alright, so they're rotating between the lanes. Just the early game set up for the two teams in this best of 3 series. Now, loser obviously automatically gets 3rd place in the tournament. So that's nice for the leaderboard. That's nice getting a couple of points to make it into the playoffs. So definitely good job already by all the teams involved here. But you want to go a little bit further than that, and you really want to make a statement then towards the grand final too. And that's what the teams are currently looking for here. So, with that said and done, we have up at the top still our globals doing their thing. A couple of traps occasionally being set up, especially around Garrosh, obviously. Level 4 talents are kicking in. Venia has mainly been active in the mid lane, so he's looking at 3 stacks for Hungry for More right now. But the first seed is now spawning, and of course after the 1 minute mark, some camps were already claimed, particularly the Siege Giant camp that we can see up here. And they are threatening that hook. Yeah, Stitches is coming in, says hello real quickly, and they just decided that they don't even need to go for hook, that what they can do instead is simply attack structures directly and take 1 or 2 of those towers out. So that's what we're getting. Red team rotates up top in order to deal with that. Yeah, Yrel is coming in, there's a flip. It's actually pretty impressive. I mean, Garrosh knows how to flip these things. I mean, you lift with the knees, you lift with the knees. Can you imagine having to throw Stitches? That Garrosh doesn't end up instantly in a wheelchair with a bad back is incredible. So, yeah, job well done here. Stitches not too heavy yet. Once the hit points are coming in, that's a different story though. But yeah, life advice right there. You lift with the knees, not with your back. Particularly if you're spending a lot of time indoors and are sitting at a PC the entire time. And if you're then also tall, I mean, you're prone for back problems. Thankfully, Stitches is not really the tallest person, but yeah, it's something to think about. Jaina down. She's gone. I never liked her, honestly. So I'm totally on board with that. Take Jaina down. She was always a little bit stuck up, if you ask me. I mean, Vala is a lot better. She's unfortunately pre-banned in this tournament, but Vala is a naughty, naughty girl, and yeah. What we could still see in this game is, of course, Nova. They tried several times to nerf Nova's butt, but they just couldn't. Tracer had a bit of an adjustment there, but then they tried it with Nova. The problem is when the designers initially created Nova, they made her so damn hot that every single time you touch her butt, you just burn her fingers, and yeah, that just doesn't really work. So Nova still amazing, could still be played. We'll see her eventually. It's gonna be a sniper comp. She's gonna destroy everybody. She's player killer number 1. We always knew it, and she will reign supreme once again. So, hook and hit, and Shizakid is in deep shit. Yep, that's a kill. Garrosh is dead, and so is Rhaegar. Now, they are starting to destroy them. Saboteurs, they've been sitting there the entire day and just watching the games, getting ready. You know, just like nursing that anger that they have for the Raiders, saying like, we make it into the grand final, and we are gonna destroy you. Raiders are already quivering in their boots, I can tell you that much. But yeah, that's a 1 level lead nearly. Couple of additional globes also coming together now for Stitches, so he's sitting at 7. Still fun. Look at those. I like these. These are scattered all across the map all the time. So yep, already one is a little bit like a bit of an Easter egg and puzzle here. So yeah, guard gnomes everywhere. By the way, this is something a lot of people don't know. This is Chromie's cousin. So I'm not quite sure how related they are. I think this is a cousin. Her brother is somewhere here as well. And I think she might have a hubby too. But yeah, either way, if you see some of them, just be nice to them. Keep in mind, this is a safe space. We respect Chromie. And we would never really speak ill of her family or anything. So, down at the bottom of the map, Zeratul against the chicken. The birdie has to defend against the camp that they just claimed. Level 10 is, of course, now super close. So grab that heroic ability and then go for a seed. Because so far it was only Team Ash that has locked one in. And we get Might of the Nerazim. We got the Salvo. Dino just refuses to go brr. But they go for a kill on Urel, and we get Putric Bile. Okay, so Stitches already coming in and is maybe able to slow him down enough. Shizakid is low, and he's dead. That's kill number 6 now for them. And yeah, they are dominating this. The good news for the red team is that they have their own heroic abilities now. So we got that. We have up at the top still some pressure against the fort, and they got it to 50% HP. But the water elemental is coming out. Dino dodging the gust. Nice. Gets the salvo out, gets some damage in. But I don't think that the red team, well, maybe they can go for Benny. Benny? Ah, nice. Well done by Uther. Comes in with his cleanse and makes sure that Stitches doesn't all of a sudden end up in the corner and gets murdered there. So, yeah, nicely done. Very well done. Down at the bottom of the map, Dehaka has now free reign over the lane and is able to, or will be able to take a tower down. The second seat, though, has been taken by Team Ash. So it's a little bit of an interesting situation, because generally what's happening right now is that most of the fights and most of the map is getting dominated by the blue team, but they are falling short on the objective. So, with a Garden Terror wave, Team Ash might have a chance to bring it back. But it also supposes that there will be a third seed that they can now take. I would assume that the blue team is going to be much more interested in locking this one in, and the position is, of course, also way better for them here. So, yeah, that's another one that they could easily grab right now. But okay, let's see what they can do here. Top side also, Zeratul still sitting tight, and off we go. Also, by the way, a little bit of a side note. I've been talking about this on the Twitch stream quite a bit, but if you're a bit newer to the channel, we had a lot of people that came in lately and apparently have found their love for Heroes of the Storm or just discovered the channel. If you haven't seen the Nations Cup in Berlin, you should definitely check out the playlist on the YouTube channel. Now, we had a big offline event earlier this year where we flew in players from Korea, players from the US, and also had some European teams present. And it was incredible. We had the whole venue booked, we had the teams on site, we had multiple caster teams, and also quite a few audience members there, which was just an amazing atmosphere. So if you haven't seen that yet, check out the playlist that's on the YouTube channel. It is by far, or was by far, the best Heroes of the Storm tournament that we had in the last 6 years or so. So if you haven't checked it out yet and you missed it, then I would highly recommend that you look up the playlist, bookmark it, and eventually give it a go, because that thing was incredible. So yeah, definitely a big recommendation for me. And a recommendation for Team Ash would be to start winning some team fights, because if they don't do that, then I don't know, they are going to get snowballed very hard. They're already losing their top fort to the Winions. Now it's 8 kills to 1. We have a seed taken by the Saboteurs, and they're just gaining more and more control here. I mean, just generally, when you think about it, now with the hook range extended as well from that Benny, that means that he can also be so much more dangerous as he throws them out. Another single globe will also give him more movement speed, which is then pretty neat when he starts going in with Putric Bile. Jaina is just nowhere near completing her quest yet. I mean, she's getting closer, don't get me wrong, maybe another team fight or two and she's gonna be ready for it. But at this point, she doesn't have Ice Block, and that makes this a pretty risky endeavor. So, off we go. with level 20, or sorry, with level 16, we're going to get the next talent set up for them, the 20 stacks on Stitches, and now giving him the movement speed. We got 20,000 damage for Phoenix, and 16k for the top damage dealer on the other side for the red team, for Team Ash, Falstad, who barrels away from the Haka. But this is a potential seed that could give them the objective. So, yeah, right now, there's a chance. Who's going to claim it? 16 is so close that I would believe the Saboteurs get it without even trying. Jaina, the ice screen is about to get melted away, but they were able to save it. So far, so good. Phoenix with a bit of damage, at least trying to get that out. Quest completed for Jaina on the baseline, and what do you know? Benny goes down. But Benny is dead, and yeah, that's a problem. Now we're talking Garden Terrors, and there it is. Garden Terrors, and Dino might die too. Dino! Oh! If he would have gotten killed by the Garden Terror, I would have lost my shit. Falstad killed by Zeratul, so at least that's something that they have going for themselves. But yeah, it's a bit bonkers. 9 kills to 2, level 16 in their hands, but those Garden Terrors, they might flip the game on its head now. Team Ash has already started some crazy comebacks this tournament, and they're aiming for another one here. But of course, the Saboteurs are still defending as best they can. Now they have 5 on the map. Falstad is still not here yet, and given the fact that they have level 16 talents, there's a lot of damage that is coming now from Rutsu and friends. The fort at the bottom of the map gets destroyed regardless though. They weren't able to save it. And now as we have the next attack happening, seems like Uther is going to be in trouble here. Yep, Uther gets saved. The throws that Garrosh makes, they are pretty incredible. Shizakid has been saving lives all day, every day, while trying to create kill opportunities whenever he could. So now we have another flip against Zeratul. Yeah, did not have the cooldown ready for his ult to chop that in as well. But they are making another play. Gust is out. Nice salvo. Not good enough to get a kill initially, but then Stitches comes in, annihilates Rhaegar. Falstad is dead. And yep, that is a pretty sexy situation. They get a triple kill in total and can now make moves for that fort in the mid lane. Really nice team fight by them. So yeah, the salvo was the first thing that came together for them. They just fire it up, and then one after another they're dying. Rhaegar falls that first, and then shortly after that Urel gets also demolished. There's tons of camps around just nearby that they can focus on immediately. Now it's level 16 talents that we're getting for Team Ash, but the problem is of course still the same. They're starting to trail, they're losing more structures. Even with the Garden Terrors that they got initially, they are in trouble now. Camps are taken, the experience gap is widening, forts are gone with the exception of the one at the bottom of the map, and even that could now be claimed. Stitches with a 26 stack, so it has a little bit more than 500 extra hit points to his name. And Dehaka dies at the top, so they gank up on the dinosaur, and he's extinct again. But that also means that nobody's at the bottom of the map to defend the fort, so yeah. I mean, the rotation is coming, but yeah, it's only Urel. Only Urel. The problem is more so that with the seed spawning in a couple of seconds and them not having level 20 yet, they are not going to be eager to go for that seed. And that kind of throws a bit of the wrench into their plans. I am pretty sure they would have loved to just threaten all of this a little bit earlier. So they're trying to buy some time. I mean, if they can, just buy another 20 seconds, that would be enough to allow Falstad to move in. Stitches, again, sitting on that heavy hit point pool, but not being that tough just yet. So Jaina again with another channel attempt. Can they get an interrupt? And the answer is no. Gust is there, double channel, and they get it. These Siege Giants, by the way, have stopped that bot lane over and over again. Dehaga is back, but he's too late. Wally, the water elemental, expires. And there's another hook, and yeah, poor birdie. That's how you kill Falstad. A quick hook, and that is some crispy chicken that you get there. So yeah, he's gone. Nicely done. But in the middle, they can now push for the next thing. Down at the bottom of the map, Zeratul is already sitting tight. We have 13 kills to 3. And there's level 20. That gives us, amongst other things, the Shadow Strike. We also have the gas back in. That was a pretty big insult for Stitches here. Talking about damage, we have 40,000 for Dino. They're going at the top after Urel. Might even get the kill. Nice drag. Nice connect by Hazu. Has to use the ult. Jumps out. Hook. And it is again Garrosh with the save. Nice. Well done. 31,000 by Jaina. We got 40,000 on Phoenix. And yeah, nobody's even getting close to Phoenix. I mean, Jaina is the closest here in the game with the 31k. She's not going to be able to overtake that. So finally they're getting a seed. It's going to be the second one in their name. And we have still a couple of camps they could take. Bruiser camp down at the bottom of the map, of course. But the level 20 advantage is their biggest asset that they have. So it depends on what they want to do with it. Are they going to try and invade a couple of camps and steal the mercenaries away? They could take the siege giants, for example, over here. And they're already on the way to do that. We have seen Zeratul take the giants at the top. So there's pressure all over the map right now in essentially every single lane. Another one taken right here. And yeah, things are just looking very good for the Saboteurs, but they also should try to capitalize on their advantage before the opponent can draw even. And since the timing on the seed works out perfectly for that, they should now be able to grab that. And hello, talk about grabbing things. That is a lot of stuns, and that was a great hook by Benny. Great hook and kill. That's the end of Urel, and now they can get the seed down at the bottom of the map, get the Garden Terrors, and then go for keeps and maybe even core endgame to take the lead here. Respect. Nicely done. Well played. Now, what else can we expect from them here? Can they even maintain a level 20 advantage? Because there's not that many waves that can be grabbed now. Falside is already moving out, but just look at this. The timing is actually not working out for Team Ash. They're not getting to get level 20 in time. They're having a huge problem here. There's no Storm Talents for them. I thought they might be able to get them for defense at least, but that's not the case. We have the fort, the keep in the mid lane already destroyed before that's even a thing. And now we're having the same push down at the bottom. Now eventually they're of course going to grab it, but by the time they get Storm Talents, we'll have for sure 2 keeps destroyed. And maybe they're never even going to get there. This is game. Saboteurs are just crushing that. So many main structures destroyed already. Nobody's even bothering with the Garden Terror at the top because they simply can't. They have to defend the core, which is tricky enough as is. Losing hit points, level 20 any moment. Falside has to use Gus before he even has Wind Tunnel. Now they're locking their talents in, but this is just a disaster for them. That is game. Team Ash loses Garden of Terror as the Saboteurs lock in the first victory in this losers bracket final series. GG. Well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2. 10 heroes were played. 10 heroes are not available anymore. In addition to the 15 that are pre-banned, we are going to Dragonshire now. And the first map was an execution. Team Ash just didn't hold a candle to the Saboteurs here. So yeah, that was rough. Map chosen by Team Ash, just saying. And the panda gets banned. So Team Ash is once again just going for Dragonshire. They just say, okay, we want to play this map, and we don't care if you get first pick, first ban, or whatever. But I have to admit that this is getting really dicey for Team Ash, because their hope is, of course, to go to the grand final, right? But in game number 1, not only did you lose, but you also got pretty much murdered. And yeah, well, coming back from that won't be easy. Particularly in Dragonshire, which is also a map that the Saboteurs have been playing a lot and also picked a couple of times. So that kind of surprises me too. But now we have ETC banned out, so that's a lot of the heroes that could have dominated the top lane are therefore already gone. And I think when it comes to a first pick, we might see Rexa again for Hazo Ops. So that's something that possibly is going to happen here. But yeah. Unless, of course, they ban it out. If they're willing to ban the offlane now, that will work too. But I think Rexa, an early pick Rexa, would be a possibility for the Saboteurs. And yes, that's exactly what Team Ash expected to, it seems. So they just get rid of him. Rexa gets banned, no chance for him. And now they have to rethink this a bit. Because I guarantee you Hazo would have done this again. He's been playing Rexa whenever he had a chance, though, on Dragonshire with all of the pre-bans that eliminate, of course, heroes like, I don't know, Hogger, Blaze, and whatever. So yeah, that one was pretty huge. That was a huge ban. That was a good one. They get Carrigan. Yeah, Rutsu, he is not kidding around here today. Rutsu picks Carrigan. He's like, alright boys, I want a timer. It's Sunday night. I want to go to the movies with my girlfriend. And we wanna watch Barbie movie or whatever. Nah, I'm kidding. Rutsu doesn't have a girlfriend. Actually, I don't know. But yeah. Maybe as a Tinder date, but he just comes in, you know, picks Carrigan, says like, alright, we're not kidding around here, we're gonna finish this quickly, and then move on to the grand final, and let's go. Talking about stuns, though, seems like the red team is responding more or less in kind. Imperius and Muradin, so once again that side lane Imperius, and now Muradin on top of that, with one stun into the next, which isn't too bad. That's actually... I like these CC chains that they're building. Just need to have a follow-up on it. But we're getting on the blue team side. Nubarak and Stukov. Okay. We're going full sniper comp. They're going all out on this one. And Nubarak for the dive. Could have gone for Varian, I guess, too. They ban out the Vikings. They're just shutting Hazobs down at this point with the last two bans that they executed. But Stukov with the lurking arm is another real nice one. That leaves us with Hazu looking for a side laner, and of course with Dainu. So, yep. More than happy with this. This is so many stuns that they can lock in. And of course we have some for Team Ash. But they need to also put in... They could ban support. I mean, it is a question of what kind of support they're now adding to this. Yeah, exactly. There it is. So Tirana. Tirana gets banned out. Good. She would have been a problem. I mean, back in the days, you would go for Muranda. That was actually the name of the combo. Muradin, Tirana, and they would roam the map just looking for kills. You would always try and have a damage dealer close by, and then you go stun, Hunter's Mark, and you blow the target up. Now, obviously, that style has fallen pretty much out of fashion, since Tirana cannot really be played these days any longer if you have every hero available. But this is what Meta Madness is for, right? So all of a sudden, these things are becoming more appealing, since you can try some of those combos again. Malfurion, as a follow-up, is still very nice. So he comes in with the root after the stun combo from Imperius and Muradin. And then they go for Chromie. So, Chrome says in the house. We get some more garden gnomes. And the final two picks now. Cassia for damage would be an option if they wanted to. But what else are we having? Lulnara. Okay, it is Bambi time again. Bambi time and Sonya for Hazobs. Spin to win, baby. That leaves us with Bishops as the final pick. Now, blue team hasn't taken her. Bishops still could. Dragonshire is their last chance to bring this back. If they lose here, they take third place in the qualifier, which in and of itself is not a bad result, obviously. But they are looking for more here. And it's Leoric, so we get that triple front line again. Leo, Imperius, and Muradin. Well, guys, match point for the Saboteurs. Let's go. Dragonshire, second map in the best of 3. Game number 2. Rutsu with Carrigan. Hazobs on Sonya. Dino on Lunara. Bad Benny on Nubarak. And Yazu is playing Stukov in game number 2 of the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket final. Over on the right side of the map, Renella with Malfurion. We got Morenas on Leoric, Shizakid on Muradin, Lopaka on Chromie, and Bishops is playing Imperius, going into Consuming Flame as his level 1 talent. And yep, let's open the gates and see who is gonna take the lead in this one. Who gets first blood? Benny is obviously going to dive on something eventually here. Stormbolt already all dodged out, but there's the double stun. And yep, that could be a kill. Carrigan with a good combo, but Benny is incredibly low and has to retreat here. And Yasu is in the same situation. The Stormbolt misses, thankfully for them. Shizakid had a chance, but now that they're tapping the fountain again, they still have a shot to maybe turn this. But you can tell how difficult this is going to be. Both teams have a lot of CC that they can use here. Yasu still not using the fountain tap. Lunara down at the bottom of the map for now against Chromie. So that's another one here, and all the way up at the top they're already looking for Morenas, I guess. But we're off to the races. We're on Dragonshire, one of the most I would say one of the most high-level maps in the sense that you need to control 3 positions in order to get the Dragon Knight. Just generally speaking, the bot lane is the most important one here, as on so many maps. The reason being simply that there's 3 mercenary camps that travel through the bot lane. So that's the reason why you will see the Dragon Knight mostly focusing on bot lane forts and keeps, because you can later on then always set up multiple camps after a teamfight that you win to push through with the camps and try and go for core. So yeah, that's one of the things that's often that's happening, of course. But with that, we now have the first kill still not in reach. We have camps that are getting focused on. The first objective is also getting announced there soon. And as we can see, camps all over the place are now taken and starting to push the lanes. 1v1 at the bot lane gets enforced by the 2 siege giants that they're coming in for their teams. And in the middle of the map, Anuburak still diving around a bit and see what exactly they can do here right now. So we have at the top a play made for the wall, and whew, yeah, they're getting quite a bit here. Anuburak is slowing the rotation down. As you can see, they were aiming to move up towards the top and they got all slowed down by Anub, and now there is a lot of damage already done, but I'm actually surprised that they're overstaying this long. Yasuo's gonna fall here, and that was totally unavoidable. Totally avoidable. Alright, so there's the first blood. But yes, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't rotate sooner. They knew that they were coming. Anuburak had clear vision on them, so very surprising to me. Meridian is also going to get a Dragon Knight, which is another thing that I don't really understand. What are the Saboteurs doing all of a sudden? They didn't need Anuburak down at the bottom of the map. He could have stayed in the middle. Dino already had that kill, so that Dragon Knight is absolutely unnecessary. Interesting. I am a bit surprised. I didn't really think that they would give up the Dragon Knight like this. I mean, that was really telegraphed. Maybe they didn't realize that Murden was missing at the top lane push and didn't quite know where he was. But Team Ash has all of a sudden done a lot of work here. Getting a DK that can now burn down the wall in the middle of the map. Getting a kill as well. So, not too bad. We have again the trend where we're seeing Reverberation on level 4. Curious to see what the level 13 talent is. I mean, this is we had now 2 times today where they didn't go for any kind of synergies, and no sustain on level 7. Sorry, on level 13, and just then played around with, for example, yeah, healing static. Normally you take that with a double clap, but that was missing twice today. So maybe a bit of a new trend here, or people just completely going brain AFK when they're picking talents and not realizing what kind of choice they made previously in the game. I mean, anyways, it's a kill for a kill, still fairly even. The Dragon Knight obviously changed the balance slightly, but now instead of Kerrigan starting to farm things, they are trying to farm her, and they're getting a lot of damage out, and Rutzo is just getting flattened. Crushed into the ground, and they're jumping on Bad Benny too, trying to get another kill here, and they should be able to grab that. So Team Ash is getting hyper aggressive, a little bit too hyper aggressive as usual, but I mean that's why we love them. So they were able to get 3 kills, hoping for another one. Dino at least could get 1 counter kill, but look at Azu. Even with a spin to win, he gets the mace to the face from Leoric, and just like that, Team Ash is bodying them in the mid lane and starting to take down this fort. That's pretty impressive. After the huge victory in game number 1 that we saw for the Saboteurs, Team Ash did not despair or anything. They were just like, alright, let's just YOLO, let's just go full in and just take him down, bring the fight to them, and crush them where they stand. They pick Kerrigan first, we're just gonna farm Kerrigan all day, every day. So, I like the confidence. Team Ash has never given up. Team Ash was always aggressive. It's one of the things which was always the trademark of this team, no matter what iteration they were playing with. Now they're jumping in again, they got level 10, and that makes things, of course, even easier. Nice Kerrigan combo, but they're still playing against an opponent that has rogue abilities. And there's the trap, the entomb, and goodbye, Stukov. Stukov is down, and boy, oh boy, this is getting worse and worse and worse. The one good news is that Hazo at the top is getting value. That's the one good news. He pushed this out, he was all alone, used his PhD in PvE to get the wall destroyed and take a couple of minion waves out. Now they're losing Kerrigan at the bottom of the map again, and the Saboteurs are just getting slaughtered here. They're just absolutely getting slaughtered. 7 kills to 2. I mean, of course, a lot of this is just simply because the blue team doesn't have heroic abilities yet. And it should change to an extent once that's the case. But the amount of value that Team Ash is gaining in that window that they had is incredible. The fort in the middle will be destroyed soon. TM down at the bottom, they're going to be able to take this one out. So that's main structures that are already going the way of the dodo bird. And yeah, we have of course now Leap, we have again Cocoon. The tools are there now, but I would be lying if I said that they don't have a lot of work to do in order to get to a decent spot here. And Hazu gets just melted away. Old man reactions were not able to save him there. They just jumped on him. Stun, 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 stun. Damage, 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 damage. And Carrigan is in the same spot. They're getting absolutely shit on. They need a shower after this game. Insane. 10 kills to 2. Leo wasn't even there. Leo is still at the top lane. So now we can go for Dragon Knight. Nubarak is moving through the middle, but damn. I did not see this coming. Not even a little bit. I really didn't see this coming. Dragon Knight number 2. And that is just nasty. I'm still blown away a bit. Team Ash. They're going for the fort in the middle. Dragon Knight is going to move to the top, take another one out. That's all of the forts gone. Now, Team Ash has obviously sometimes a bit of a tendency to throw games that they already won because they don't know when to reel the aggressive playstyle back in. But they have a 2-level lead now with level 13 talents that they enjoy over the opponent's team. So I want to see what they can do now. I mean, can they finally get some kills here? Muradin, they want to murder him, and they should be able to. Does he get the cooldown back in time? And the answer is no. So there's a kill. Bambi gets her butt kicked by the Dragon Knight. There's still a camp at the bottom they got to deal with, and they do. But at least they're getting 1 kill. So let's see what they can pull off as the game continues. But suffice it to say that with all of their forts destroyed, the blue team finds themselves in a bit of a pickle. Team Ash wants Game 3. They're the masters of bringing a series back. They've done it multiple times in this tournament already. Unyielding Despair. Bronzebeard Rage. Finally the normal talent on level 13. We had it twice now where despite the level 4 choice, they went for healing static. And I was just sitting there as this like puzzle and thinking they just both misclick? Like what's going on there? I think they must have. So now we have the normal talent tree for Muradin again. Proven and forged in the... Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm going for. I'm kind of lost the analogy. But yeah. Proven over time. And yeah, well established. Either way. I'm still looking towards the blue team and I want to see what they're going to do now. Because essentially they have to make a move, right? And if you're waiting too long now, then your opponent is that level 16 advantage. Then you can't really play it out there. So you have a few options. You can either force the fight now. You can try and play it out with the next objective. But the longer you wait, the bigger the chances that your opponent is going to get that level 16. And they go for Morenas. That's essentially not a bad move. It gives you a lot of experience. That cooldown on Leap is not really that big, but if you just look at the experience gained here, look at the difference in heroes experience. 3,600 against 5,800. So that's what we have right now. If you now think about how many heroes were actually killed by each team, you can really see that these late game kills against heroes that are higher level are worth a lot for the Saboteurs. So using a cooldown that will quickly be back just to get that kill is kind of important. If you take a Leoric down a couple of times, it's one way how you can start closing that experience gap. But with the shrines activating in 10 seconds, there might be another Dragon Knight that they gotta deal with. Now, to be fair, there's obviously still Lunara that can poke nicely from a distance against the DK as well, as long as she's not getting kicked away. But they have to be extremely careful now how they're gonna play this one out. DK is not even being contested. Chromie, yeah, she turns finally into a dragon. Again, the fake dragon is finally a real dragon, albeit for a very limited amount of time. So, only for a minute. But that's a dream come true for the Pretender. I mean, again, no self-respecting dragon would ever take that form. But at least she can transform into one for a limited period of time. So, gotta give her that. Benny, oh yeah, he's getting kicked to death pretty much. Don't tell me he gets out. Is there a heal? Yeah, there's a heal. Does he have a cocoon? Yeah, there's a cocoon. And Yasuo is dead. Benny is about to survive. They kill Leo, and Benny can actually escape this. He dove in and hit nothing because Chromie used the time trap. So now Sonya is dead, and the entire bot lane just explodes. More and more kills for Team Ashe, one after another. There's 2 defenders still alive. Dino being one of them. And Benny the other, and now they're diving for Bambi. Bambi is gone. Team Ashe is absolutely crushing them. Saboteurs, they are getting murdered. Absolutely murdered. This game is like watching hot butter melt through cheese. There's just no chance. 14 kills to 5, and now they're gonna go for core already. They see Stukov, he's just dancing, he knows that he's gone. Stukov is dead. Shizakid might fall. He actually had the avatar cooldown still available and went for that real quickly. But it looks more and more like we're gonna go to game number 3 here. Depends a bit on what exactly Team Ashe is now doing. They're actually funning around quite a lot, and now they're losing at least Imperius, but they also killed Kerrigan. Chromie got cocooned. Benny is trying to buy a bit more time, and Lunara is at least back. I'm not sure they can end here right now. The death timers are still low enough that they might be able to get them back, so I actually don't think they can end. Now, it's bad enough as is already, even if they don't end right here, right now. But ending, I'm not so sure. They can poke with Chromie, so as long as they're sieging up, they're going to be fine. But they are realizing that it's going to get a bit too tricky, so they're already falling back here. So, yeah. It would have been a bit... Like, just imagine them overstaying, losing 3-4 heroes, and all of a sudden, you know, losing control of the game. That would be kind of crazy. So, yeah, either way. We now have 6 kills to 17, which is still amazing to me. Malfurion hasn't even died yet this game. And there's Chromie again going for another Dragonite. I mean, it's a freebie after a freebie. Level 20, soonish. Now they get at least a camp that can stop the top lane a bit. And in the meantime, we have the push for the keep more so than for core. So they want another keep here, as it seems. Yep, coming in, hammering away. Another entomb. He's hitting them one after another. Anubra gets kicked out. Hazu's alone. Silence. And down she goes. So bye-bye Sonya. He just can't keep anybody alive. They're all dying. I mean, they're dying all over the place. They're getting farmed. This is a psychological victory more so than it's a map win. I mean, honestly, after this, the blue team is going to have nightmares for weeks. They need psychological help after that disaster. That's something I can't give them here. Yeah, they might not be okay for a long time. This is the stuff that nightmares are made from. Lunara is dead, and it's a 5-man team wipe. So, 22 kills to 7. I gotta give it to Team Ashe. They know how to stage a comeback. Boy, oh boy, after game number 1, I wouldn't have given them a chance at all. But now they're coming in here, and they're just destroying one of the toughest teams, probably the best teams that we've seen so far in the qualifiers. Big, big plays from Team Ashe, and that is, yeah, that's game number 3. We're going to the 3rd game of the series here in the Losers Bracket Final. GG, well played, nicely done by Team Ashe. Okay, game 3. Team Ashe came back in pretty impressive fashion and just crushed the Saboteurs. I mean, crushed them. Pretty impressive. Very well done. And now the big question, of course, can they do it again, and can they send the Saboteurs packing? It would be impressive, but it's also really difficult to accomplish that. The bans are coming in, and immediately we have Chen removed. Cursed Hollow is our map. That in and of itself is already a surprise to me, because I really didn't think that teams would go for Cursed Hollow here. We had Towers of Doom up, I believe Infernal Shrines was up, and those are usually more popular choices for this. Vikings get banned on Cursed? Okay. I mean, there's a couple of really good heroes for this map still available. Tyrael would, for example, be one when you're fighting over bosses. You can still go for even Samuro if you would want to. But let's see how they're going to react here. Now, in total, there's 35 heroes that are now unplayable. 15 that are permabanned for this qualifier. And then we have, in addition to that, 20 heroes that were already played in the series and cannot be played again. With that in mind, there's still plenty of heroes that you can actually lock in and you can go for some really good combos, but let's see what the teams can do here. Now, personally, I would expect that Cassia is going to be taken, just to name one. Maiev is obviously going to get the axe again. Was Dehaka played? I think it was banned, right? So Benny goes for ETC, could still switch him over into a side laner. But I'm not so certain that Dehaka was played. If Dehaka was actually not played, then they might want to look at that. So, let's see. Very early ETC pick. Main tank, side laner, both possible with him. Can go for that global. And yeah, Dehaka is out. Okay, so Dehaka is actually out. Got crushed. But there's Greymane and there's Tyrande. Last time Tyrande was banned out. This time they don't want to risk this. So we get Greymane. That's nice for structure damage. That's nice for boss damage. Still expect that Cassia is going to be picked by one of the games. And now it's just a matter of how exactly are the Saboteurs playing this one. I mean, again, I am intrigued. Last draft did not work out for them at all. Rutsu wants to redeem himself with Liming now, and we get Hazu on Rexa, which was one of the bans on Dragonshire, so they're picking up a lot of the choices that you would have expected from them. I mean, for Rutsu is obviously always a bit of a carry hero, and Karrigan is normally way better than what we saw on the last map, but if he can get resets in this fight, particularly against squishies like Greymane and Tyrande, then he could dominate those battles and really just snowball them very heavily. But yes, Rexa gets taken on top of that, so we now have our side laner. Ana gets banned, don't want to have that nano boost. No nano boost for Liming. Targeting supports there a bit. We haven't really seen all that many double supports. I could totally have seen more double supports being picked outside of the traditional Uther main tank into a second support. The teams are now, in the context of Meta Madness, just trying to bring that back a little bit and empower someone like Greymane or other order attackers or stacking heroes. So, yeah. Arthas gets banned, okay. Don't want to deal with him either. Yeah, and that's our next double pick for Team Ash. Again, they got a big opportunity here. They can bring it to... They can come to the grand final and face off against the Raiders. And I can guarantee you that the Raiders are watching this right now and they are very curious who are they going up against. Because initially, I suppose, they were expecting the Saboteurs to make it through. Game number 1 kind of confirmed that. And then the second game put a big question mark on all of this. Not simply because the map was lost by the Saboteurs, but also because Team Ash just crushed it. Now we get D.Va and we have Varian. So Varian taunt into Tyrande stun, Greymane bullet, a lot of damage on that. Yeah, and what is Dino now getting and which kind of support are we getting from Yasuo? More interested in Dino's pick more, honestly, than anything else. I expected Cassia to make an appearance, but maybe I was wrong on that too. So, what is Dino gonna grab? It is Cursed Hollow after all. Artanis and Deckard Cain. Alright. We get an Artanis game from Dino. Why am I not surprised? No Battlefield of Eternity. So this is like, you know what? There's 2 bosses here. Let's play it here. So, in we go. With that, what are we getting now? Final pick. I mean, you know what they're up against. This is the final choice. A bit more damage would definitely do wonders for them. They need something. Can be melee, can be range, doesn't matter, but they need some damage, and they get it with Malthael. Okay, the aspect of death, the Angel of Death, is entering the arena. Cursed Hollow, everybody. The final map in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket final between Team Ash and the Saboteurs. Well, it's match point. Saboteurs against Team Ash. We're in game number 3, and on the left, Azu with Rexa, Dino on Artanis, Yasuo on Deckard Cain. We get Bad Benny on ETC and Rutsu on Liming. Over to the right side of the map, Team Ash with Renella on Tyrande. We got Bishops on Malthael, Shizakid with D.Va playing full metal on level 1, Morenas on Varian, and Lopaka with Greymane. The final map, the loser takes 3rd place in the tournament, and the winner goes straight to the grand final to face off against the Raiders in a best of 5 series starting on Forehead Junction. So, let's see what they can pull off. What can Team Ash do after the convincing victory in game number 2? Can they build on that momentum? Well, they're starting to build on it with some damage down at the bottom of the map. And nobody is really rotating. Finally, there's a rotation coming. They're getting the entire tower. What? Did they not download the minimap DLC or what happened? I mean, they must not have, because they saw that very late. That was the latest rotation that I've ever seen to any of these attacks. So nobody looked at the minimap, or I don't know. Maybe the minimap has also gotten an update and is now showing the same color scheme as Google Maps, and therefore you can't see opponents on it. I would believe that. But either way, that was not a great start for the Saboteurs. It's not insane, obviously, but it's a free tower that you just gave your opponent. And that's always nice when you're trying to push through the bot lane a little bit. So, stacks are coming in. We get... Oh, that's a stun. That's a bit of body blocking too. If they would have blocked that earlier, or Varian already had his level 4, Deckard would have died there. So, initially at least a good start. On level 1 we got the reactive parry for Trash Tannis. We got the Bird of Prey. And they're going for Morenas. Nice hit from Liming, but they could not quite get Varian. What we are getting is Fear of the Reaper. We got Ranger. And off we go. Benny gets attacked. Grayman a little bit low too. Tyrande the entire time. Just heal, heal, heal. Owl, owl, owl. Can obviously interrupt any kind of channel attempt later when we're talking about the first few tributes that happen on the map. Bit of vision that gets granted when you're scouting out bosses is also more than welcome for a team. But I want to see what Benny is going to do, because Benny could go stage dive and really try and apply more pressure to Tyrande herself. So that's something. Either way, we now are waiting for kill number 1 in this game. Level 4 is in. That gives us Varian with Taunt. And they have another good move in the middle where they can push with their camp and start to take more of these towers down a notch. So just all in all, Team Ash with very good early game decisions, but that can of course backfire when they're too aggressive and might lose Greymane here. Greymane is trying to get out. Tyrande is healing whatever she can. There's a combo, gets soaked up by Varian. What a chat, what a man. But ooh, what? Insane. Wow, what a play. It's unbelievable that they saved everybody. That is insane to me. And D.Va capitalized on the space that she had at the top by taking some of this down. I mean, take a quick look at this. Look at Varian just surviving, and they're body blocking, they're tanking shots with Varian, they get Greymane out, they get Varian out. Everybody is escaping here. Sometimes awesome plays don't result in kills. That was spicy. It was really well done. Now, they get the first tribute down here. There's no interrupt that is happening in time. Varian instead also needs to be super careful because he got body blocked hard. But that was still pretty sweet. For a third map, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff. Varian is now in some trouble, but at least he gets the heals from Tyrande. She went into Elune's Chosen. And on level 7, we're now getting the Khaldor resistance. ETC, though, was able to take down Greymane in the middle of the map with a bit of help from Dainu, as it seems. And now that they're moving over towards the top, we have our first blood at least. But of course, there's an advantage in experience for Team Ash. Gotta be careful with Morenas again. Misha sent to her death by Rexa. Wow, Hazu, that's unacceptable. Not quite sure what's going on here, but I mean, you literally sent her into tower range and she didn't stand a chance here. I cannot endorse this at all. That is not cool. Peter has been informed and will contact you shortly. So, yeah, unbearable. Unbearable. With level 7, we're getting the Wizened Duelist, Calamity of course, and that wall is already destroyed. So I gotta say, the first kill, first blood is nice for the Saboteurs. But structural damage in the hands of Team Ash. They've been doing more here. They're still applying pressure. The one thing that they're completely ignoring though is the objective. They don't give a shit about those tributes. Yeah, they are just going full on structure push. The idea is, I guess, at least to an extent, to get the early level 10 so that you can make... if you get level 10 early and there's a sufficient gap between the two teams, it means that you are able to go for the third tribute without really having to fight for it, which we're going to see here now. But the point is still that they're then trailing behind by 1. So, yeah, there's that. Wizened Duelist again for Greymane. They're actually going for the boss now too. That's a bit spicy, 16 seconds, okay. So they're going for the boss here with everything that they can unleash. Greymane in particular is of course great for this. But it also means that down at the bottom of the map there might actually be... Can they go for double boss? I was just about to say they might be a little bit late to the tribute, but they're going to be there in time. So now the boss was taken. Can they go for the double? I am not so sure how good this is going to be for the blue team. They're trying to go for Morenas. Boss has not been taken. They got to give this one up. There is no... Greymane isn't here? No! Greymane isn't there! They're still fighting it, and they're killing Deckard Cain! Deckard Cain is gone. D.Va explosion. They take the boss, and they look for another kill. Greymane isn't even here, and thanks to level 10, they're getting 2 kills. The top fort gets easily destroyed, and now they are going for Benny. Wow! The Saboteurs have just taken a big L. They're losing a lot of ground. One tribute has already been taken. The second one is now spawning. They're going to draw even with them here. And, yep, top side, boss is even damaging the wall at the keep. There's 2 forts that are going to be destroyed right now. They're going to get another free tribute. And that level 10 and the timing that they had on their boss was just absolutely stellar for them. It doesn't get better than this. That was awesome. They got 2 bosses, 2 tributes, and a few kills in one go. Incredible. That's a huge upset for the Saboteurs. That's a huge problem right now. Look at the gap in experience. A 1.5 level lead. They can go for the middle of the map as well. But yeah, that is big. Alright, let's see what they can do to screw this up. How are they going to throw this? That's the big question here. Nah, I mean, seriously for just a second. They have a fantastic lead now. And the position of this tribute over on the top right is also pretty incredible. So they're starting to set up a little bit of a trap here. There will be some interrupts attempt or so, I thought, but it seems like this is not even going to be the case. So we will see level 13 for them, and apparently a curse. Nice. Very nice. So they're extending that lead further. Now they have to ensure that they're also getting some good damage in. There's the taunt. Okay, he has to jump out. If he doesn't use his ult there, he's dead. Last rights would come in and would kill him. But he jumped out in time, was able to get away. And yeah, that is pretty sweet. 13 is on the board. They have the extra talent right now. We're getting the jump as they're moving in with D.Va once again. The fort is about to get destroyed. In they go. Starting with last rights to take Hazobs out. He's the first one to fall. Of course, the fort gets destroyed. There's the D.Va explosion. They want to go for those keeps. And it is way too much. Nicely done. 1 fort down, but they have to do some keep damage, or at least take some of these walls down. That has to be the minimum. You can't just simply take a curse at this moment in time and be happy with only a fort. Don't have to destroy the keep, but open those walls up, and that's exactly what they're doing. So every boss that you get from here on out is going to march straight for the keep. D.Va is doing the same thing at the top now. They're still fighting it out at the bottom of the map. It's important, of course, for them to not overstep, and what a swap by Dino. Dino with the absolute monster swap here. Viable, viable, viable. Yeah, nicely done. And honestly, that was so awesome. We're going to take another look at it. That was really well played. So, here we go. We're already having them with a huge swap, monster swap from Dino that allows them to get Greymane into the back, and they can get that kill. 4 kills to 2 overall now. And with that, what we're now getting is an attempt to lock another kill in. The problem is that Yasuo gets caught. Yasuo was trying to come in from the side, and now it's Li Ming that dies first. Deckard Cain is also not going to make it. Yep, he dies, so that's 2 heroes already down. Malthael still fighting. He might fall at least. Yeah, Bishops. No, they're losing ATC too. And how is Malthael still alive? Finally, he gets destroyed, but they're losing way too many heroes here. That's 4 heroes that they just lost. Dino is the only survivor, and he's also going to die. Guys, this is a 5-man team wipe. They're taking the entire team off the map. Team Ash is crushing it. They're absolutely crushing it. This is insanity. 9 kills to 3. Look at that gap in experience. They're 2 levels ahead now all of a sudden with a level 16 talent in their hands. And Greymane is already taking camps on the map. That is bonkers. The Saboteurs are in so much trouble. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous here. Just wow. Seriously, just wow. Now at the top, boss is about to be taken, and once they claim that boss, it's 11 minutes in, the top side keep doesn't stand a chance. And then they can go down to the bottom of the map and grab another boss. They can make another double boss play, and who's going to stop them? With a level 7, with level 16 talent advantage and 3 levels ahead, nobody's going to engage into this. The Saboteurs are not going to contest that. They're not insane. That's... yeah, they're even going for the keep at the top now. And they also have, of course, they need to take the tribute or they're going to be cursed. ETC is down at the bottom of the map. But this is big boy plays here. I cannot believe that Team Ash is playing this well. They went for map choice. They chose the map. They did it on game number 2. They did it in game number 3. And now we have them going for keep. And I honestly at this point don't even know if they're looking to get more here. But the blue team is about to grab level 16. Thanks to ETC down at the bottom of the map, they're going to have a level 16 talent. I don't think Team Ash should go too aggressive here. Unless they get a kill, that would be ill-advised. That boss is not strong enough yet to end the game unless they're getting kills quickly. And there's level 16, and they get the kill. Trash Tannis is getting crushed once again. The chance to go for core. Hazu is low. The core is losing its shields. And holy shit, Team Ash pulls it off. They take the Saboteurs down. They send them packing. The blue team takes 3rd place in the tournament. And Team Ash moves on to the grand final to face off against the Raiders. What a series. GG.